Live from Hollywood, it's the Billy Masters Show. And now, please join us in welcoming the star of our show, Billy Masters.
Just watching Audra McDonald and Will Swenson on with Seth Rudetsky and James Wesley for the actorsfund.org. And they helped me set up the system. And Audra had glasses on to read some lyrics. And I said, look, I can see the monitor in her glasses as well. Richard J. Hi, Richard J. Oh my God, Chip, where are you? Please, Richard J. would be a great test guest. Richard, can I text you the link and bring you live as a guest? I would love that because I just want to see how everything is working. Let's see if I can get in there. You're on my phone, so I can just text you directly. Just because, and you would be my first official guest, but it's still in preview. So, you know, you're sort of like, who sang in previews and then got canned before opening night? Whoever Sutton Foster took over for. Yes, Richard, right now. Much better light. Well, you know, Chris, I'm learning my lighting. I've always said it's all about the magic that is Billy Masters, and this is as magical as it gets. I still have to move around every once in a while to try to find comments, but oh my God, there you are. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can get you in here. Okay, now if I bring you on, all you have to do, I'm going to text you the link, and all you have to do is just click on the link, and you'll be in the studio. Let's see if this works. Hold on. Copy, paste. Okay, so we may have a guest very shortly. If I close this so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. Sutton replaced, oh, it was Aaron Dilley. That's who it was. Oh, so Richard J., you could be like the Aaron Dilley of this show. Aaron Dilley did it in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken, Greg. Magical, oh, wow. Chip, but, yeah, I'm just looking at where Chip is. Oh my God, Chip, you're with the puppy. I'm sorry, my dog is asleep. She is asleep with my father. I never see my dog. Okay, so Roman, okay, Richard, I'll get to you in a minute. Just stay there. I see you there. Thank you. Roman just asked me about Patty LuPone's tour of her basement. Is it the best basement ever? First off, she's psychotic, and she's playing pinball and screaming and yelling and hyper, and then she's at the jukebox, and then she's showing photo albums. You know, if that house goes up in smoke, we've lost like 100 years of musical theater history. And speaking of 100 years of musical theater history, my good friend Richard J. Alexander.
I can't believe this. I was just scrolling through. I just finished all my Bravo catching up. I was going to go to bed, and there you are. How are you?
There I am, like herpes. I just pop up.
Is so much better. I saw you yesterday, and it was all sort of foggy
all
and cloudy. You're doing good.
Well, okay, so since people probably did not hear it before, Richard J. Alexander was an actor originally, correct?
Years ago, yeah.
Original cast of Amadeus?
Yeah, Zoot Suit, Amadeus, yeah.
And then became a director, producer, does everything now. An entrepreneur, as we say.
Right. Now I'm the diva whisperer.
Yeah, well, he is executive producer, a co-executive producer with Barbra Streisand.
No, we're co-directors. We've been co-directors for 20 years, yeah.
Isn't that amazing? No, because Richard and I were just talking about this, 2 weeks ago, that I remember I was there when you got the call.
Yeah, we were in P-Town, that's right, with Bob Mackey and Mark Sundroff and everybody when I first got offered to work with her. At that point, I was working with Cameron McIntosh and did Les Mis and Phantom and Saigon and all that stuff.
Well, no, don't sell yourself short, because you had also done a lot of solo people's performances before Barbara.
That's true. Bernadette Peters was actually the first big one, yeah. So Carnegie Hall is what changed my whole life trajectory.
And if you don't have that CD, the Carnegie Hall CD, the 2 CDs, I guess now, are just incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
Nominated.
Yep.
How
right.
are you? How are you? Are you okay? Are you
I'm
sequestered?
fine.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm in Boston. I am relaxing, but I told the story, when we were choppy, but people probably didn't hear it. Richard and I bumped into each other at the winter party in South Beach, which we shouldn't have been at. I know.
Well, it's not that we shouldn't have been at it. They shouldn't have had it. So let's start
that's probably
there.
true. Yeah. And we were also in very exclusive company. We weren't around like all the sweatiness and stuff. We were with the VIPs.
Right. It was a launch. It was more of a launch, a quieter thing.
Yes. And Richard is a huge advocate of the theater, as am I, but he's far more than me. And he was really upset that I hadn't gone to New York to see The Inheritance, which was closing, as it turned out, a little bit earlier than it was supposed to.
Right.
And to the point that he said, I mean, this is just part of who you are, but he said, I will pay for your ticket. If the producers won't give you a ticket, because nobody's going to give me a press ticket the week before something closes, I will pay for it. We'll make the plans. We'll get you there. You need to see it.
I felt so strongly about it, Billy, because of who you are, your legacy in the gay community at a national level, and you love theater.
I do.
Every time I do bump into you, whether you're in Fort Lauderdale, whether it's in P-Town, whatever, you're a theater lover. You love actors, you love singers, and you love gossip.
Yes, I do. Well, and the other thing, because, people have seen us, and we're both very outspoken people. We don't always agree, which is fine. No. I like when I don't agree with friends because I get to hear a different point of view. Talking to people who agree with you is pretty boring. And so people ask, how I get along with you. And I always say, Richard is somebody who, whether he likes something I do, doesn't like it, he's going to tell me the truth. And so I will do the same to you. And I'll say, I didn't really like that. You're like, well, fuck you. But then we'll talk about it.
Yes.
We're very passionate about
you
whatever
and I
we
have
do.
Never really had problems that I recall. And
no. But I think people think strong people.
Yes. Well, we have strong opinions. But listen, you're only worth your opinion in life. And as you get older, you're only worth what you know, and, vice versa,
Well, I've also found that people who want to know my opinion and then just echo it back to me, they don't have a point of view. So I really like somebody. Yeah, they tell you what you want to hear. Exactly. And I have very little respect for that.
If
and
Chip is still watching, hi, Chip. I wanted to say hi to you if he's still on.
Chip, he just said, he's in Hopkinton. Chip, I love you. I will come visit you. Look, Tom Yaz just wrote, Making Love Alone was his favorite Bernadette Peters song.
Yes, that's got a great story, that song, because, of course, she performed it on Saturday Night Live. But when it went on to the live recording, the girl who wrote it was rather upset with us, claiming all kinds of things. And blah, blah. She never registered it with BMI or ASCAP. I sort of remember. So in the consequent pressings, it isn't on the record.
Tom just said to me, Making Love Alone was removed, so he must have the subs. I have the original, so it's on mine.
Yeah, it's on mine too. And somebody just brought it up the other day. That album is such a like, people really love that album. I'm really proud of it. We were Grammy nominated, and it was one night only at Carnegie Hall, so it was a danger, capture.
And it was a benefit for the gay men's health crisis, wasn't it? A benefit for the gay men's health crisis?
I mean, that's Lawrence who asked Bernadette to do it, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Arthur Lawrence asked Bernadette, and it was quite a night. But that changed my entire career from theater to concert work.
Well, because it was so high profile. And I will say that is a CD you can listen to from beginning to end, not a bum cut on that CD. There's no fat. There's a lot of CDs you're like, all right, this is a track I never have to hear again.
She was an extraordinary voice that night. But I'll never forget, like, in the afternoon, I remember I called Arthur Lawrence because we were doing Some People was closing Act 1, right? Which was a whole story. But anyway, I called Arthur Lawrence on a payphone. There were no cell phones back then. Going, Arthur, I said, I'll get it and I'll get my kids out, or I'll get it and I'll get my kids out too. And he told me the answer and whatever it was. And he goes, and thank you for asking. And he was so sweet. He did the liner notes for the record.
Oh, that's
right. I gifted him a pair of cufflinks to say thank you. What a piece of history.
And Bernadette hadn't done Gypsy at that point. That was a good 10 years before.
She was offered. It's a whole story I'll tell you another time, possibly when we really talk. because I thought it was a test drive tonight. I'm
It
ready to go to
is.
bed. I'm
It
dead. Aren't
is.
the days, Billy? Aren't the days so long?
I have no idea what day it is. Every
Well,
day, I'm like, what day is
it's
this?
Wednesday because Summer House was on tonight. Have you been watching Summer House? Do you watch it?
No. What is Summer House? I don't know Summer
Summer
House.
House is a bunch of kids that get together in the Hamptons every year, and the cast changes a little bit every year. And it's on Bravo. It's in its 4th season, and it's addictive, But they started the year talking about, I think Carl fingered Lindsay tonight. Jules says
Well,
that
that's the
Jordan
Hamptons.
likes to get strangled a little, so she's going to handcuff him to the door and leave him naked. I'm like this. And of course, you can tweet all these people. So it's like the old days when you used to watch soap operas or Luke and Laura, and you felt like you knew them. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, well, that's the whole point. I think it started with The Hills for nighttime. That was a whole new generation. But speaking of being fingered and strangled, we have to say hi.
It's hilarious.
We have to say hi quickly to Andy Cohen, who is usually watching, and get well soon, please. I've been in touch with Andy, and of course, we talked about you and I, Terrence McNally, passing for the face of the coronavirus. Really, he's like the Rock Hudson of Corona. Although he had been ill, I mean, we should say it didn't bring him down, but it didn't help.
No, it's when you have underlying issues. When he got his special tone, you remember he had the oxygen.
The oxygen. No, and I talked to Tom.
There will never be anybody like Terrence McNally ever. Such an original voice, such a sweet man, and such a, I'm going to write to Matthew Lopez this week, who wrote The Inheritance, because I get American Theater Magazine, and there was a stunning piece of writing in it. And here's a guy who wrote to Hal Prince, who's also no longer with us. Hal told him, if you want to be a writer, keep writing. And he said, send your stuff to Terrence McNally. He sent it, and he thought he didn't hear anything. And then Terrence left him like a 5-minute message saying, you are a writer, you are. And now these two great people who actually gave life to this young writer and encouraged him are no longer on, but they were real people of the theater, and it's
and they were advocates. They were filled with love. I mean, Arthur Lawrence, of course, who we lost, and Arthur Lawrence could be very crotchety and very difficult, but Terrence, he was strong, but nobody said, oh, he was nasty or he was mean. He was firm. There's a difference.
Did you see that great documentary on him?
Yes, I just pulled it out, as a matter of fact, like an hour ago, and I said I'm going to have to watch it again.
It needs to be seen.
It's a life in 3 acts. Is that what it is? Is that what his is called? I think
if you look him up, the title will come up, but it's got a title like, oh, you're typing it,
yeah, it's I know. It's Every Act of Life. Okay. Yeah. I knew it was something like that.
On Amazon, or it's readily available, but man, it will take you on a trip. I cried all through it because you see, I've been around for 45 years of career, and you just see all of that,
Well, and speaking of Arthur Lawrence, he was inspired. That was, again, there is a generation that inspired the next generation, and now you have a new generation.
Yeah, you're a little younger than me, or maybe a lot younger.
Yes,
but
little.
I missed the golden age of musicals by 10 years, but luckily I got to work with the people from the golden age of musicals.
I really wasn't into Broadway as much. I was on the classical side and opera, so I came to Broadway very late. But Bernadette
I didn't realize
and Patty,
that. Is that true?
Yeah, Bernadette and Patty were my first divas, and I missed so many beforehand.
And by the way, you're talking about Basements and Patty LuPone's Basement, which was hilarious, and it's funny.
Hysterical.
And have you seen that kid? Have you seen the viral one? The kid that made fun of that?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look. Funny, you can look it up. But don't forget how good Barbara's Basement is.
Barbara's Basement is the village. Are you kidding? It's insanity. And of course, Michael Urie was just so brilliant in that play.
He was great. I don't like when they call it a mall, because it's actually a street of shops. But that's another conversation.
No, I know. Well, that's why I said. That's why I said a village, because it's not a mall, but it is indoors. And what else are you going to call it? I guess.
Yeah. It's a street.
Didn't you say to me that Barbara was thinking of going to see the show, or he was going to come and perform it for her, or something?
We were actually going to do like a command performance at the barn. You're absolutely
That's what I thought. Right.
And the idea happened when, because obviously she couldn't go to the theater to see it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Can she do anything?
Yeah, she can, because pretty much she can blend in with the crowd.
Like she said to Ellen that time, she goes to Wood Ranch, which is one of my favorite places. And I said, I just can't picture her going out.
No, it's actually quite pleasant and quite fun. But
not
at
the
the
theater.
time, they had announced that he was going to play the Amundsen. So I said, gee, why don't we do that? But then they added a tour. So when they added Chicago and all the rest of it, that became not a reality. And
Right.
That just never happened,
So she's never seen it. Well, she's seen the video. Has she seen the video?
I don't think so. I don't believe so, no.
Does she have interest in that kind of stuff? Or is it just, oh, that's nice?
Listen, interesting. I mean, she loves theater and all that.
Yeah.
She went to see Bet, I'll Eat You Last. She
Yes.
loves theater. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Look, I don't want to keep you. I want. Oh, yes. Go ahead.
And things are happening here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've been talking to friends in Los Angeles, and I feel so removed when I'm in Boston. Like Boston is its own life. New York is its own life.
Travel is a big part of your schedule, right?
Look, in this room, there are so many suitcases. And because I'm in 3 different houses, there are 3 sets of everything. So it's very confusing. But in a way, Audra, I was watching Seth and James for the Actors Fund, and they had Audra and Will. I guess it was last Friday. Yeah. And Audra said, Vanessa Williams came on, and she said, it sort of gives us a moment to just stop and like be
Vanessa
in
Williams
one
came
place.
From London?
She came back. She flew back the day that they announced that that they were closing London. She was worried if she didn't leave, she'd never get out.
She was still there. Yeah,
I thought she was too.
Gavin Creel came back and Sarah Bareilles
and sick, and Gavin is sick.
Yeah. Well, says he thinks he has it.
He thinks
it, right?
Who has? And like I said,
he was so sweet the other night with his limpy asparagus.
Oh no! And what about Rosie's show? Did you see Rosie's?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right. Did you see the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing beginning and end. Look, first of all, what do we have to do?
That's why we're doing this.
Not watching. I'm sure it did better than some of the shows on the CW.
Look, and whatever, $600,000. So that.
I know, fantastic. I was talking to Brian Stokes Mitchell today. Yeah.
Oh, Jim, I just want to say hi to some people. So Jimmy Wagner, hi. Jason Beers from Mickey's, my favorite bartender at Mickey's in West Hollywood. I love you. Who else is home. There? Well, again, that's the thing. When I was watching Seth and James, and I said, it's so wonderful what you're doing. And, there were some people who are very proprietary about what they do. We know people like this, that they don't want to help each other because they see it as competition. Seth said to me, you should do this. I'll give you the software. I'll talk you through it, whatever you need.
So this is new. You've just been doing this the past couple of days?
Yeah, that's it.
It's so crazy because this is what happens. You get on Facebook or Twitter or, whatever you're getting on, and you just start scrolling, and then you see people. I mean, everybody's been singing. People I haven't seen in years,
Constantly.
Blah, blah, blah.
Elton just did a command before. Elton John did one from his house.
And you just stop and you just go, oh my God. But like the first one, when I signed on and said hello to you, it was all fuzzy.
That was the first attempt. I mean, literally, that was the absolute
really
first.
Clear. Well done. Yeah. You're a good
Thank
student.
You. Well, I'm sitting. What else do I have to do? I'm sitting here and figuring it out.
That's right.
We connect with people and maybe make them laugh a little bit. Maybe they learned something from us. God knows what.
Well, I'm very honored to have been your test case. I'm gonna go
you are. You're my.
Now.
You are like the pre-Sutton Foster. Now I don't know who I'm going to have tomorrow.
There you go. I'm sure they'll be piling in. None of us has anything to do. Happy anytime.
No, that's what Vanessa said. Seth said, love to have you back. She said, I think I'm free. I'm here. I mean, what am I going to do?
It's amazing. I mean, this in real life, and so does everybody who's watching, is that now you call people and they say hello. You're no longer.
I never get anyone on the phone till now, right?
You can get anybody. Anybody's hello, and people want to talk. Jason Robert Brown wrote a haunting little piece on Facebook, which was very moving because he went to walk his dog last night. And it just showed how little interaction, and even with the dogs all liking each other and stuff, you keep your distance. But when he heard his own voice speak, he couldn't believe the voice that came out of him because he hasn't been talking all day or singing all day like you usually do when you're
you're not interacting with anyone.
Exactly. So the voices, and I just went it made my heart stop. I was just like, wow, what it got to me. It really got to me.
Well, I saw when Stokes was talking to Seth about how empty the streets are, and that he went out to jog, and there was nobody. There were some people, but they were all keeping away from each other. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
Tony
I'm going to have my
Ferrari.
first virtual cocktail party tomorrow, I think. I think with Randy Rainbow and Ryan Raftery and a bunch of us. I haven't had one of these yet. Today I did my first Zoom. Have you done Zoom yet?
I've done the Zoom, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, today I did my first one. It was a conference call with Kristen Chenoweth and a lot of people about boot camp and all that.
And wasn't she great on Rosie doing the Starbucks song again?
Yeah. This Saturday we're doing Saturday night in the bathroom snib. To take off on Saturday night on Broadway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna guest with her. I think on Seth. I think it's a thing on Saturday night. Yeah.
Yes, she's gonna do sets every Saturday night. She said, because again. Where is she going to be?
Right, so that's it. So I'm going to guest. I'm going to appear and drop in.
Yeah.
And do my bathroom.
Look, I am totally we're all supporting each other. If I do this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
time frame, or
I'm doing it I'm going to right now. No, I'm going to do. These are tests, but I'm doing it Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 o'clock. So Seth is on at 2, so he's like my lead-in, and then I'm on after him.
I have some good guest suggestions for you.
Absolutely. Send them all my way. You and I will talk off the air.
There's one guy I think you should really talk to. I'm a big fan of.
I think this is a really good opportunity to get to meet people. How many people have I said there's a good person you should talk to or whatever? And I'm a naturally curious person. Well, and we have time. So,
how many people are watching you right now? Can you tell?
Yeah, I can tell. There's 23. There's like 45 people.
Wow, hi.
It's just people. Yeah. It's lovely. And again, I keep saying to people, I am not doing this as a benefit. If you want to give to somebody, find a good organization, support your local businesses that are still open. The actorsfund.org is great. And of course, if you want to buy a subscription to BillyMasters.com, we're not going to turn it down.
Support any restaurant that's doing takeout and delivery. They're dying. It's really terrible.
I don't think people realize the trickle-down effect.
Business, those people live hand to mouth and just keep the staffs, and it's happening here in Miami where I am, and Lee Schrager is pulling just really pulling it together. So I think we're going to start on that tomorrow.
I was talking to some friends.
People are leaving their dogs because they lost their jobs and they can't afford dog food. We got to help.
And I think that the travel industry and the hospitality industry are going to be the biggest hit. Look, this is March. I have a condo in Fort Lauderdale, and this is my busiest month, and it's empty.
Yeah,
nobody's there. What are you going to do? All you hope for is that we can bounce back after this, which we will. We're resilient. We've been through this before. This is not our first plague, unfortunately.
This feels a little different, though. This feels even a little different from 9/11.
Well, it's long. We haven't even hit the apex yet. We don't know when it's coming. We actually are sitting here waiting.
Yeah. Did you know Mona Foote, who passed away?
I did. I saw that. Yeah.
I didn't know, but totally beloved. People were sobbing. I know a lot of people that was
drag mother for so many people. Younger, those RuPaul people, a lot of them she nurtured. Yeah. Well, it's just what can I say?
The Indian chef and the Dominican designer. It's just.
I don't know all the people. Again. And I think, again, it's just the beginning. I think there are so many people, and check in with your seniors, check in with people who are infirmed and have any sort of issues.
You're checking in with me. What are you talking about?
Oh, shut up. You'll never be a senior. You're hanging out with that ageless Nazi Bernadette Peters. Where's my baby? How's she doing? She okay?
She's doing good, yeah.
Richard's dog has had quite a journey, I must say.
Well, she had a life even before I found her. But anyway, it's nice to see you and say hello
sweetheart.
To everybody, and we'll talk soon.
I love you. Yes, text me, call me, whatever. Okay, bye, sweetheart. All right, everyone. Okay, so obviously, Tony, I know. Tony Ferrari. Can I just say something about Tony Ferrari? What was the name of that terrible show you were on? Like Love Island or Paradise Island or something with an island. I will go and look it up if you don't text me back. But anyway, Tony Ferrari, so funny, so gorgeous. And I think, and I'm not sure, which one. You know which one? She's going to figure out what I'm talking about. The one with all the horny Paradise Hotel. Thank you. I knew I'd figured out. I believe Tony Ferrari is the last girl I made out with. Is that possible, Tony? Tony was there. I was there with Kurt Young, porn star Kurt Young, who she thought was really hot. And all I remember is that she wanted to kiss both of us. And she kissed me and she kissed Kurt. And she said, Kurt had a lot of stubble. And she said, Kurt's like making out with a real man. Billy, kissing you is like making out with a woman. Thank you, Tony Ferrari. These are my friends. Oh my God, there's so many of you there. Okay. Tony, and I think I think the only reason she kissed me was so that she can make up with Kurt Young, frankly. David Sexton, did you see us? Tony, Richard J was just here. James, hello. Erin, my darling, Erin Quill, very, very fabulous actress, writer, performer, Asian advocate, gay advocate. She does it all. Tony, you don't have to be sorry for anything. I'd make out with you any day of the week, and she has a good set of tits, by the way. I don't think she'd mind if I told you. And she's a really good kisser. Okay, this has been like a fun little test. Let's see, I'm just looking at what's happening. A bunch of you supported. So yes, Eric, Taylor the Latte Boy. Okay, Aaron, thank you. I will look that up. I don't know, Roman, if New York is going to be back in June. I mean, it's anyone's guess. None of us know what's going to happen. All we can do is hope. Christoph, hello. Christoph, well, let's see. Jimmy, I love you. I love you. Last summer in the Hamptons. Yeah, so I don't think anyone put their fingers in anyone's ass in last summer in the Hamptons. Anyway, who's that? Is that Kevin? Kevin, we are friends. What are you talking about? Kevin Wetman, please, we're friends. I mean, friendly. I haven't stuck my finger anywhere. Okay, this was fun. I will be back with an actual real show tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. I know that most of you really seem to like these nighttime things, but I'm going to try daytime. We'll see who's there. We'll take it by ear. But just remember, we're all in this together. You can email me, billy@billymasters.com. Check out the website, billymasters.com. On Facebook, obviously, you all know where I am. And what can I say? Another day down. I don't even know. I should be keeping track of what day of the quarantine this is. Who knows? It's forever. Anyway, love you all. Take care and talk to you tomorrow. And see if I can get out of this. All right. Bye-bye.